Welcome to Season 2, Episode 13 of the Trivia 10. Today we have Mr. Moviesandstuff14, George Carmi, back for redemption after a disappointing Episode 10 last season. But he knows, he's reviewed the tape, he's rearranged his whole Letterboxd. How are you feeling coming into Season 2 looking for vengeance?
Yeah, listen, Trivia 10 is making me lose my mind. It's making me study my Letterboxd, even though it's my Letterboxd. But I'm here. I'm ready. Your gloves are off. You're screwing people over, but I'm ready. I'm mentally strong right now.
You're locked in. Well, we are quickly coming to a close of Season 2. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you somehow haven't already. Leave a like, comment down below how you would have done. Every Tuesday and Friday we have new episodes. But looking at the leaderboard right now, we have Harry, Josiah, Byron, Blake's Takes, K Meeks, Gooch, and James Rated the last podcast locked into the playoffs. If the season ended right now, Anthony and Cam would have to play a wild card to determine that final 16th slot. Sophie, Ethan, and Alex are really hoping for some people to fail. And then we have Alex at 40, where like even if George puts up a stinker and gets below Alex, like Alex, you need a lot of help there, buddy. But we'll see how it goes. This is how the leaderboard currently stacks up as we get down to the final 16 who will be making the playoffs. But this is George. He's back for redemption. Co-host of the ReelTok Podcast. If any of you ever heard of it?
Yeah, you can't do your co-host dirty, man. You gotta cut me some slack here.
Right? I think I gave you and Cam very tough quizzes last season, but we saw Seth make the playoffs. We'll see. Seth still has to come back for this season. Cam right now, he's for sure going to be in the playoffs, but will he have a wild card or not? But let's get into it. You know, the first question is going to be multiple choice. So the first question, question one. Who does Bruce Willis play in Pulp Fiction? Is it Vincent Vega, Jimmy DeMick, Marcellus Wallace, or Butch Coolidge?
See, it's definitely not Vincent or Marcellus. It's either Jimmy or Butch. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea. So I'm shooting a 50-50 shot here, and I'm going to go D, Butch Coolidge.
The 50-50 paid off. 5 points on the board.
Thank God.
You're already on the winning side of history.
God. That's
huge.
That's huge.
Next question, another 5-point multiple choice. What academy does Miles Morales attend? Is it Brooklyn Visions, Brooklyn Horizons, Brooklyn Midtown, or Brooklyn Inspiration?
I believe it's A, Brooklyn Visions.
2 questions down, 2 questions good.
If I got that wrong, and let me just say, if I got that wrong, I would have left Trivia 10. I would have closed my laptop. I've seen Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse a combined like 18 times.
And you got it right. You're at 10 points. 10 possible points available. 10 have been taken. But now we're getting to the general trivia questions where you're going to have to tell me the answer straight up. No multiple choices, a crutch. Question number 3. What company logo is shown in every scene of Fight Club?
There's no part of me that knows this, but for some reason I'm weirdly leaning towards cigarettes, but I really don't know. And I think it's because I'm just looking at a picture of sexy Brad Pitt with a cigarette in his mouth. I weirdly like, you're going to give me the answer and I'm going to have like an oh shit moment because I've seen this exact trivia somewhere else, whether it be on like IMDb or just floating around fucking Twitter or something. I don't know. I'll go with Marlboro, but I have no idea. This is a washed question for me.
It is not Marlboro, but you are right. It's one of the more famous lures of Fight Club is that Starbucks. There's a Starbucks cup hidden in every single scene. Starbucks is the right answer. Your first slip up today, but we still have a lot more questions to go. So we'll see. Starbucks is right. Question number 4. Where's Furiosa escaping to in Mad Max Fury Road?
The green place.
You got a Mad Max question wrong in the first one. You got it right in the second one. You got the chrome wrong, but the green place is absolutely correct. It was not very green when she got there.
What was the green place is right in my first one?
What are the war boys spraying their mouth?
Oh, yeah. And I said fucking aluminum, and it was fucking like a stupid bitch I am. All right, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, stop flogging yourself for season 1. You're back. You're renewed.
That's in the past.
Going on to question number 5 now. Beyond clothes of previous kidnapping victims, what else is hidden in the crates of Bob Taylor's house and prisoners?
Snakes.
Snakes is correct. Snakes is right.
That's a good pick.
Takes the clothes, fills them with pig's blood, and then puts snakes in those crates. You're at 30 points right now, but we're getting into the meat of the quiz now, the back half where the 110 points is available. And you still got work to do to be able to try and make the playoffs. Going on to question number 6 now, which is going to be the first matching game. Box office edition. The 3 movies are Spirited Away, There Will Be Blood, and The Social Network. And we have a budget of $25 million that made $76 million, budget of $19 million that made $357 million, and a budget of $40 million that made $224 million.
Here's my problem. I suck at these. Every Trivia 10 that I've watched, I have gotten either 1 right or 0 right. So let's think of this logically. I think off the top of my head, I think The Social Network probably made the most money. And I also think that between Social Network, There Will Be Blood, and Spirited Away, it probably cost the least to make because there's no it's not a crazy animated film like Spirited Away. There's no insane oil rig scene the way there is in There Will Be Blood. So I just don't imagine that Social Network may cost as much as the other two. So I'm thinking Social Network is 2. It's the global box office that's killing me because I could see Spirited Away having just blown up across the world. Like Hayao Miyazaki has that type of power. But my immediate thought is to go Spirited Away 1, There Will Be Blood 3, because There Will Be Blood, the 224 is throwing me off because I just don't imagine it made that much. But it was a Best Picture nominee. Daniel Day-Lewis won Best Actor, so I could see that having helped a lot. But I'm going to stick with my immediate gut. I'm going to go Spirited Away is 1, There Will Be Blood is 3, and The Social Network is 2. I could be completely wrong.
You are completely wrong. 0. These are the tough ones for you, like you said. Spirited Away made the most money of the bunch on the 19th, the smallest budget. Social Network made the middle amount with the highest budget, and then There Will Be Blood, $25 million, and did not make much at the box office whatsoever.
That's piss poor.
So you still have 95 points left available on the board that you can grab. Going on to the next matching game. Let's lock back in here. Rotten Tomatoes edition. Frances Ha, Pan's Labyrinth, and Cinema Paradiso. We have a 95 critics, 91 audience, a 92 critics, 78 audience, and a 90 critics, 96 audience. So one of them, the critics favors more than the audience. The other one, the critics favor less than the audience. Then we have one that's kind of an outlier with the lower audience score.
See, this is the thing again. You're giving me not movies. You're giving me a game where I have previously participated in, following along as you continue with this. And I either get 1 right or 0 right. So I'm fucking myself here. Okay, here's my thought process. Initial thought is Cinema Paradiso probably has the highest audience score of these 3. And I would imagine Frances Ha has the lowest audience score. So I'm thinking, but I don't know how to justify that. Why would Frances Ha, why would any of these movies have a 78% audience score? They're all so good. But I think if any of them were to have a 78, as tough as it is to admit, I think it would be Frances Ha. So I'm going to go Frances Ha is number 2. It's a shootout between Pan's Labyrinth and Cinema Paradiso because you're screwing me because now I'm rethinking my Frances Ha pick. I'm locked into Frances Ha as number 2. As much as it pains me, again, I think if any of these movies have that low of an audience score, it's Frances Ha. I think if any of them have the highest audience score, it would be Paradiso. So I'm going to go 2 is Frances Ha. I guess 1 is Pan's Labyrinth, and 3. Don't lock that in. Don't lock that in. Don't lock that in. Don't lock that in. Because I know you're a dick sometimes, and this could easily be a 1, 2, 3 situation. Because I've studied you, Tyler. I've studied you. I've known you for quite some time. I've studied you. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go Frances Ha is 2. Pan's Labyrinth is 1. And Cinema Paradiso is the highest audience score with 3. So 2, 1, 3.
Time and time again, the gut works out. 15 points, perfectly done. Trust in your gut. I could tell from the very second you saw this, your gut was immediately going there with Cinema Paradiso 3 and Frances Ha 2. I was worried. You kept saying not lock it in. You had to think about it, and you're going to change things. But nope, 15 points. You're at 45.
Change that. Oh, that was
already left Alex Coleman in the dust now officially. He still has the lowest score, but you still have some work to do to lock up a playoff spot and not have to wait for others. But there's still 60 or 80 points up for grab with the final 3. You're at 45 points now. Question number 8, there's going to be 2 correct answers for question number 8. You're going to get 10 points for each one you get right for a possible of 20 total. Tom Cruise has been nominated for 3 acting Oscars, 1 for Born on the 4th of July, but what were the other 2 movies he was nominated for an acting Oscar for?
That's a phenomenal question. I don't think the answer is Magnolia, because we just reviewed Magnolia, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, we were talking about how it's crazy that he wasn't nominated for supporting actor in that movie. I could be completely wrong. I could be completely incorrect. But I am almost confident that we discussed on that episode how crazy it was that he was not nominated for Magnolia. I've not seen Eyes Wide Shut, but I know a lot of people are very quick to say that that is his best performance. I'm trying to think of something more recent that, like, because nothing's jumping out. That's my problem right now. So if I'm fucking myself on Magnolia, I think and I could be just being dumb with Magnolia. Not having seen Eyes Wide Shut is tough, because like I pride myself in Oscars knowledge, you know, but it's for films I've seen. So I'm gonna immediately take off. Like you said, I'm sticking with my gut. So I'm immediately removing Magnolia from the list of. Oh, now I'm not sticking with my gut. Hold on. Because I could see it being Magnolia and Eyes Wide Shut. I could see it being Eyes Wide Shut and A Few Good Men. And we just talked about A Few Good Men. But I'm forgetting if we spoke about Oscars. Because I'm trying to think back on our Real Quicks, because
We've done a lot of Tom Cruise talk.
We've done a lot of Tom Cruise, and we just did it too, and which is like the annoying fucking part. The Magnolia is throwing me off. I could see myself absolutely fucking myself on Magnolia. I know I'm missing something. The thing, no. I think I might be mixing up the 2 movies. That's my, oh, fuck you, Tyler. Respectfully, I'm missing something. What am I missing? Obviously not like Mission Impossible. I'm not stupid. Well, that's a lie. I am stupid, but I'm not that stupid. Maybe it was Magnolia. Maybe it was Magnolia, but we were saying we thought it was crazy he wasn't nominated for A Few Good Men. I'm missing a movie. I am missing a movie. There's a big Tom Cruise movie. I know Jerry Maguire. He was nominated for Jerry Maguire. I know he was nominated for Born on the 4th of July because it's in this question. And now it's just a shot. Was he nominated for A Few Good Men or Magnolia? Now it's just a shot in the dark. I'm definitely locking in Jerry Maguire. I'm almost 99% sure on Jerry Maguire. I can't believe I didn't think of that almost immediately. My gut is saying Magnolia, because I think if it was A Few Good Men, I would remember our episode more clearly. So I'm gonna fuck off. Shit. I wish I was more up to speed on my Tom Cruise lore right now. Born on the 4th of July. Jerry Maguire is I am 100% sure on Jerry Maguire. And I'm going to say Magnolia. But I could be wrong on Magnolia. It could very easily be A Few Good Men. But I'm going to lock in Jerry Maguire and Magnolia.
You thought through it, and you got them both. Perfectly done. You're now at 65 points, means you're tied with Cam and James on the board, or Cam and Anthony on the border of making the playoffs. So you're for sure at least going to be in the playoffs on a wild card at this point. So you're
I have to go back and watch our episodes, because it was either the Magnolia episode or the Few Good Men episode where we spent like 10 minutes talking about how we thought it was crazy he wasn't nominated for this movie. Mm-hmm. Or maybe for Magnolia, we were talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman and how we thought it was crazy he wasn't nominated. Was he nominated? Who gives a fuck? Let's keep going.
You got it right. You got it right, at least. So 20 points headed your way. You have 2 questions left to really lock yourself in the playoffs and get some higher seeding now. You're fighting for playoff position at this point. Okay. Question number 9 is Ride the Bus, the one that has been taking bodies all season. This has been the toughest one of the season. And I'm going to give you a movie with an average Letterboxd rating. And we got The Abyss with 3.7 on Letterboxd. You're going to have to tell me if The Hangover is rated higher or lower than 3.7 on Letterboxd.
Listen, I love The Hangover, but I cannot imagine it's higher than a 3.7. If I lose on The Hangover, I'll punch myself in the face. I'm gonna go lower. There's no way.
You didn't even have to think twice about it. You got it right. 5 points. I was wondering if you're going to think like it's so highly rated by most people.
No, I love The Hangover. I really do. But I cannot imagine it having like a 3.9 or a surprising rating.
Well, now at this point you're at 70 points. So you're for sure locked into a playoff position. So that takes off some pressure for the guests to cast. But let's see how much we can get on this ride the bus. Next, we have The Gentleman. 3.6 is the new baseline. Is it higher or lower than 3.6? Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman.
I am not familiar with The Gentleman. And I am very open about I do not love Guy Ritchie, so I'm not in tune with Guy Ritchie lore. I'm this is a 50-50 shot, but I'm gonna try and like rationalize my logic here. I'm thinking lower because when I think of like highly rated Guy Ritchie, Snatch is the first movie that obviously comes to mind. And if you had given me Snatch here, I would have very quickly said higher. But The Gentleman, I could see being a 3.5 or a 3.7. Like, I don't know if it's like too far above or below The Hangover. So I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to say less than The Hangover.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where you're falling off the bus today. It is higher than The Hangover. 5 points so that locked you into playoff position. Next was The Theory of Everything. What would you have said for this? Doesn't matter anyways. But
yeah, I probably would have said higher for that one.
That's lower, actually.
Wow.
And then Creed 2.
I definitely would have said higher.
That's lower. So you got off the bus on the right spot. This is why this question is so hard, man. This is the toughest question of the season. But you're at 70 points going to the guest to cast.
Insane.
You're for sure in the playoffs, so the pressure's off here. But if you can get a great score here, you'll be launched into higher seeds.
Yeah.
So guest to cast, one by one, going to be revealing members of a cast of a movie I'm thinking of in my head.
This is where you've been dumping on people here. You've been shitting on people here.
There have been some negative reviews from some people on my guest to cast this season of being too tough.
Oh my god! All right, let's lock.
First cast member, Michael Keaton.
Okay. See, this is my problem. I know you, Tyler. I've known you for a good long time. All right. You know, we host a podcast together, and I know when you do these guest to casts, you're not giving us like. The first person that comes up is most likely not the main character of said movie. So you're not giving me like Batman. You're not giving me Birdman. You're probably not giving me Spotlight. If you give me Spotlight, I'll lose my shit. So yeah, I have to think of movies where he is just like a lesser not a lesser character, but where he's not probably like a top 4 or 5 build character. I could see you, but this is where I get wonky because he is one of the top build characters in like Spider-Man Homecoming, and I could absolutely see you doing that. I also could see you just like throwing in the Flash because like, you know, I'm a superhero guy and you want to try mess me up. I'm trying to, here's my thing. Ever since you did the Victoria Pedretti Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, now I'm trying to think of like, what have you watched recently? And I know the answer is Jackie Brown. So it could be Jackie Brown because you've watched it recently. You just said on the podcast that we recorded an hour ago that you gave it a 4-star. So I could see it being Jackie Brown, but he's also like one of the bigger build actors in Jackie Brown. If you're giving me Morbius, I'll never talk to you again. I'm just telling you right now, I will never talk to you again. If this is Morbius, I'll absolutely shit my pants. But I'm going to throw out a wild card here because I think you know how much I love this particular comedy. I'm going to throw out The Other Guys.
It is not The Other Guys, but man, you just went through the thought process of every possible movie. Pretty much.
I clipped that. Damn.
Yep. No, unfortunately not. The next cast member, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Michael Keaton. You are a dick. I should have known because we've spoken about this. Actually, if it's not this movie, I'll freak out. But are you giving me The Trial of the Chicago 7?
I am giving you The Trial of the Chicago 7. Mark Rylance and Jeremy Strong would have been next. Yes. Trial of Chicago 7. Michael Keaton, you were right. Absolutely not one of the top build in there. Joseph Gordon-Levitt really isn't either. You know, the actual 7 with the Jeremy Strong being like the final guy who's like, he's probably the only guy on here that's like truly top build in that movie. But there's a stacked cast in that movie. A lot of actors that could have pulled from.
I completely blanked on the Trial of Chicago 7 until I saw Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Because he has such a small. He literally has like a superhero reveal in that movie where like you enter his house and you're like, oh, who's playing this character? And then it's Michael Keaton. Fuck, I should have known that because we've spoken about how much I love that movie on the podcast so many times.
Yeah, that's the thing with it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's in it for like a second, and Michael Keaton, like we talked about, is in like top like 7 really building that. But so I was wondering if maybe like you would just your mind would have went somehow like Flash, maybe like in the multiverse, like with Robin from The Dark Knight Rises, was he pulled in there?
Yeah.
But no, you remember that Joseph Gordon-Levitt had that minor cameo in the Trial of Chicago 7. 30 points headed your way. That means you're at 100 points, man. You're tied up with Byron in the 3rd place at this point. You're absolutely locked in the playoffs. You're gonna have one of the higher seeds. So now Cam's still fighting for his life in that wild card slot. He's still gonna have to have one person below him, otherwise he's gonna be in a wild card. And Seth still hasn't gone yet. So right now we have 1.5 members of the ReelTok podcast for sure in the playoffs at this point. So great work. How are you feeling about your performance? You laid a dud last season. You did better this season. How are you feeling today?
A lot better. Good stuff. Good. I knew the what was the one I got all 3 wrong? The box office. I knew that was gonna fuck me, man. Damn, if I had gotten one right, I would have been fucking tied with Josiah. God damn.
Yeah, the box office one took you down. Not knowing the Starbucks lore took you down, and then Ride the Bus.
I saved myself on the Rotten Tomatoes one.
Rotten Tomatoes saved you. Yeah, you almost changed your mind up on that one, which would have screwed you a bit. Trial of Chicago 7 was a huge pull that you were able to remember the JGL cameo.
That was a good pull. For a hot second, I really was gonna guess Morbius. Like I really thought you were like, let me just fuck with this guy or something.
And Tom Cruise pull was good. You spent a solid 4 minutes thinking about it before you got Jerry Maguire, and then it was a 50-50 for you.
Because that was so. Like I said before, we talked about both of those movies, literally both of them within the last like 2 months, right? I think on the ReelTok podcast, or by the time this episode drops, the last 4 months or 3 months. And we had an in-depth conversation about someone not being nominated for one of those roles. And I could have sworn it was, I don't know. I got whatever.
And you had Eyes Wide Shut also lingering out there as well as a potential opportunity as well. So this quiz is definitely easier than your quiz in season 1, because I think I gave you a really hard quiz in season 1. But I'd say this is pretty consistent with the other season 2 quizzes. But there, like we just went through just now, there's multiple like 50-50s that you were going through this one, where if it went a different way, this final score could have went very differently. But the Ride the Bus is devious, because after that first one you got right, you would have gotten every
single one wrong. That was a crazy Ride the Bus.
Yeah, but 100 points. We're going to be seeing you again in the playoffs as you have officially locked in the Sweet 16. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday as we are quickly rounding out the season 2 roster. Almost done with season 2 at this point. Just about a third of the season left. So make sure the subscribe button if you haven't already. Comment below what your score would have been if you had this quiz. Make sure to hit that like button, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace.